The most beautiful bathrooms being built right now, well, they are not modern. They are from 1927, and I'm going to show you why. Welcome back to Built by Becker, and I'm Blake. If you're new here, this channel is all about helping you make smarter decisions when it comes to your home. Whether you're renovating, building, or just dreaming about it on a Saturday morning, you're in the right place. Now look, I've done a lot of renovations, and when it comes to bathrooms, well, I've seen everything. The good, the bad, and the beige. And I'll be honest with you, the beige is everywhere right now. Gray, white, more gray, a little beige. That's basically what passed for bathroom design for a solid decade and a half. But something is shifting. Homeowners are coming to me and they're saying, Blake, I don't want another modern bathroom. I want character. I want something that has soul in it and more. That's what they're describing. Without always knowing it, what they're talking about is vintage. Now, when I say vintage, I don't mean decorating your bathroom in antiques and hoping for the best. I mean borrowing from the design language of specific decades that got bathrooms right. And I'm gonna walk you through exactly which eras those were and what made them work. By the end of this video, you're gonna know which vintage bathroom area matches your personal style, the key design elements that define each one, and what you can actually do in a renovation versus just for show, and some real practical ways to modernize these looks without losing what makes them special. If you're watching this and you're thinking about a bathroom renovation, or honestly any part of your home, and you want someone to walk you through that, head over to the link in the description on my website, Built by Becker Media. That's where you can find resources and design guides and get in touch with us directly. All right, let's go era by era. The 1920s, one of my favorite. Art Deco and the birth of the beautiful bathroom. Before 1920s, bathrooms were almost exclusively, well, white, dark, clinical, because the whole point of a bathroom back then was hygiene. People were terrified of germs, and the white showed dirt. So white it was. And then the 1920s happened. The roaring 20s, jazz, flappers, optimism, and suddenly color. In 1927, Kohler released matching sinks, tubs, and toilets in colors like horizon blue and spring green. And just like that, the bathroom became a room you actually wanted to be in. The 1920s bathroom was all about Art Deco, bold geometric mosaic tiles on the floor, black and white combinations that still look sharp today, marble and brass, pedestal sinks with curvy legs, faucets that were transitioning from nickel to chrome, and Hollywood vanity mirrors with ornate frames, because the film industry was blowing up and everybody wanted a little glamour at home. What made it work? It felt intentional. Every single element was chosen to create mood. This was a room that had personality. Number 2, the 1950s. Pastels, optimism, and most cheerful bathrooms ever built. Now, if the 1920s bathroom was sophisticated, the 1950s bathroom was just happy. Post-war America was booming. The economy was up, families were buying homes, and the bathroom was finally getting its moment as a real design statement. And the colors they chose reflected exactly how people felt. Mint green, powder blue, pale pink, butter yellow, even lavender. These were colors of a country that had just come through World War II and was feeling genuinely good about the future. There's another particular thing here, and it's the fixtures. Kohler and American Standard were making toilets, tubs, and sinks in those same pastel tones. Glossy ceramic tiles on the walls in soft colors, brass hardware that tied everything together, and if you had a pink bathroom with a matching pink toilet, pink tub, and a pink tile, you were living the dream. That was the goal. Now, here's the thing about the 1950s bathroom that I think gets overlooked. Those match sets, they coordinated fixtures, the tile, the hardware, all of it working together. That's actually really good design thinking. Modern bathrooms pretend it's sophisticated to mix and match everything, but there's something genuinely satisfying about a room where it's all intentional and it's all cohesive. Number 3, the 1960s. All about the tile. If the 1950s brought pastels, the 1960s cranked everything up. The Cultural Revolution hit interior design, and bathrooms went bold with brighter greens, neon yellows, electric blues, and tile. So much tile. Tile, 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 wall to floor, floor to ceiling, tile everywhere. When combo shower tubs became a standard, the walls above the bath got fully tiled. And most of the time, that tile kept going around the entire room. Accent tile borders brought in additional colors, mosaic patterns, mix and match arrangements that had a lot of energy to them. The 1960s bathroom wasn't trying to be subtle. It was trying to make a statement. And honestly, when it worked, it really worked. And there's a reason that mid-century full-tile bathroom is still one of the most searched renovation inspirations on Pinterest. People are hungry for that kind of commitment. Number 4, the 1970s. Earth tones and the grooviest bathrooms known to man. And when we got to the 70s, whoo, look, I gotta be honest with you here. The 1970s gave us some genuinely great ideas and also some choices I can't still fully explain. The great ideas first. The environmental movement was taking hold. The bathroom design started reflecting that. Earth tones came in, avocado green, mustard yellow, burnt orange, brown, terracotta, mosaic tiles, wood accents, brass and natural material fixtures. There was warmth to these bathrooms. That was genuinely inviting. Low flow shower heads started appearing for the first time, wicker baskets, hanging plants. The 70s bathroom felt like a room you might actually want to relax in. Now the choices I can't fully explain. Carpet? The 1970s decided that carpet belonged in the bathroom. On the floor, on the toilet seat cover lid, and on the tank. And sometimes all three. And as a contractor, I have some very special feelings about that. Let's just say those feelings involve the words mold and moisture, and let's move on. The takeaway from the 1970s though, and this is something that still holds up, is that earthy, warm, natural palette in the bathroom. It really works well. That avocado green, it's coming back. That mustard yellow, it's coming back. The carpet, well, I think that one's gone for good. How to actually bring vintage into modern bathroom renovation. So now you've got the history. Let's talk about what you actually do with it. The most important thing I tell clients who want vintage bathroom is you don't have to commit to one decade, and you definitely don't want to recreate a museum exhibit. What you want is to borrow the soul of an era while keeping it livable for our modern years. Here's how it looks in practice. If you love the 1920s, start with tile. Hexagon floor tile in black and white is one of the most timeless choices you can make in a bathroom renovation. It's elegant, it's classic, and it goes with almost everything. Add subway tile on the walls, a pedestal sink if you got space, and cross handle faucets in brushed nickel or brass. That's the foundation. You don't need much else. If the 1950s are your era, pick one pastel color and commit to it. Not everything, just a feature wall. Or a lower half of a wall and a complementary tile. Pair it with white fixtures and brass hardware. You'll get the charm without the full commitment. And if you want that 70s warmth, terracotta tile is having a major moment right now, and it's genuinely beautiful. Pair it with warm white walls, matte black fixtures, and some hanging greenery. The snake plant and the arrowroot plants that were popular in the 70s decor actually work perfectly in bathrooms because they handle humidity well. Overall, my general advice for vintage renovation is to pick 2 or 3 hero elements: a clawfoot tub, a bold tile choice, a statement light fixture, and let the rest of the room breathe. One thing that makes old bathrooms feel dated isn't the vintage elements themselves. It's when everything is competing for attention at once. As the designer Nicole Cole put it, you want old meets new balance, not a room that looks like it belongs in a museum. And I totally agree. Here's the thing about vintage bathrooms that I think gets something bigger. We spend so much time chasing what's new, what's current, and what design magazines are showing us this season, and a lot of that is fine. But the reason people keep coming back to these older looks, the clawfoot tub, the black and white tile, the pastels, these things have stuck around because they were thoughtfully designed in the first place. And that's what actual design advice is all about. It's the best I can give for any renovation. Don't ask what's popular right now. Ask what's gonna make you happy for the next 20 years. Because the bathrooms that people are falling in love with today, a lot of them were built 100 years ago. If this gave you some ideas on your own project, drop a comment below and tell me which era is your favorite. I'm genuinely curious. And if you want to keep exploring design content with us, subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss a thing that's coming next. I'm Blake. Thanks for watching another episode Built by Becker.